Hello, dear students. Today we are going to learn about 10th class English S.S.C Syllabus Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. First unit Personality Development. A reading Attitude is Altitude. Now let's look at the chapter. Attitude is Altitude. Attitude means the way you think and behave, and altitude means the height or position you reach in your life. Your attitude decides your position or success. If a person has positive attitude, he can overcome all his difficulties and reach success in life. Let's look at the chapter. Imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning to help you scratch that itch, to allow you to wrap your arms around your loved ones. Imagine having no legs to kick pebbles down the street, to walk or run, to bicycle or skateboard, or get you from point A to point B. Then imagine both at once, which is what Nick Vujicic has faced his whole life. Have you heard something like this before? Here, the author asking you students to imagine yourself that you don't have arms to stretch in the morning. If you get some itching, you can't help yourself to scratch that itch. And you can't allow yourself to wrap your arms around your loved ones, to hug them. Now imagine you don't have legs to kick the pebbles down the street. You cannot even walk or run. Can you do bicycles or skateboard without legs? No. And the difficulty is you can't even move from point A to point B. Then imagine both at once, which is what Nick Vujicic has faced his whole life. Have you heard something like this before? This particular title has been given to this lesson considering the unusual person born on earth without arms or legs. This man is none other than Nick Vujicic. Despite his disabilities, he reached great height in life and achieved huge success. Let's discuss more about his life in detail. Nick Vujicic was born with no arms and legs, but he doesn't let the details stop him. The brave 26-year-old, who is mainly a torso, plays football and golf, swims and surfs. Despite having no limbs, Nick has a small foot on his left hip, which helps him balance and enables him to kick. Nick Vujicic born with no arms and legs, but the thing is, his disability did not stop him. This 26-year-old person, who is mainly a torso is a person, he did not have limbs, he did not have arms or legs. But the thing is, he plays football and golf, he swims as well as surfs. So, despite having no limbs, Nick has a small foot on his left hip, which helps him balance himself and enables him to kick. He uses his one foot to type, write with the pen, and pick things up between his toes. He call it my chicken drumstick, joked Nick, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. I would be lost without it. So Nick Vujicic, when he used to type, he used his small foot for typing. He can write with the pen, picking up things between his toes. So he called his small foot a chicken drumstick. And he was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now he was living in Los Angeles. He said that if he did not have that small foot on his left hip, which he called it as a chicken drumstick, he would be lost without it. He is very modest, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time. It was said by Nick's friend and publicist Steve Apple from Los Angeles. Nick loved to get married and start a family, but he was waiting for the right girl to come along. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. He also plays golf with the club tucked under his chin, and he is a huge fan of the English Premier League. His parents decided not to send him to a special school, a decision he said was very hard for him, but which may have been the best decision they could have made for him. Special school where children with the special needs they used to learn. So Nick's parents decided not to send him to a special school, but they often wanted Nick to join mainstream school so that he can be independent. That's the reason Nick said that was the best decision his parents could have taken for him. When Nick was born, his father was so shocked that he left the hospital room to vomit. His distraught mother couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. When Nick was born, his father was so shocked he left the hospital room for vomiting, and his worried mother couldn't bring herself to hold him. She cannot even hold Nick until he gets 4 months old. Nick's disability came without any medical explanation, a rare occurrence called phocomelia, and Nick's parents spent many years asking why this cruel trick would have happened to them. His mother was a nurse and she did everything right during her pregnancy, but she still blamed herself. Nick said it was so hard for his parents to brought him up, but right from the start, his parents did their best to make him independent. My dad put him in the water at 18 months and gave the courage to learn how to swim. Nick's father was a computer programmer and accountant, and he taught his little son how to type with his toe at just 6 years old. His mom invented a special plastic device that meant he could hold a pen and pencil. So when Nick was 18 months old, his father has thrown him into the water to give him the courage to learn how to swim. Nick's father was a computer programmer and an accountant, so he taught his little son how to type with his toe at just 6 years old. His mom invented a special plastic device that meant he could hold a pen and a pencil. Despite the risk of being bullied, his parents insisted Nick on attending mainstream school. It was the best decision they could have made for him, said Nick. Nick has later achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate. Nick said it was the best decision his parents could have made for him to give him independence. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of carers to help him. I was deeply depressed when I was 8 years old, he said. I went to my mom crying and told her I wanted to kill myself. I felt cold and bitter. I hated God for doing this to me, and I was terrified of what would have happened when my parents weren't there to look after me. When Nick was 8 years old, he was very depressed. He was very sad and upset. He went to his mom crying very badly and told her that he wanted to kill himself. He felt cold and bitter. He hated God for doing this to him, and he was terrified of the fact that what would have happened to him if his parents weren't there to look after him. He could brush his own teeth with a wall mounted brush and wash his own hair with a pump action soap, but there was much more that was impossible for him. At age 10, Nick tried to drown himself in the bed, but luckily the attempt was unsuccessful. I felt there was no purpose when you lack purpose and strength. It is hard to hold on, he said, but with the help of his religion, friends, and family, Nick managed to pull through to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. When Nick was 10 years old, he tried to drown himself in the bathing tub, But luckily, that attempt was unsuccessful. He felt that if there was no purpose in life, when you lack purpose and strength, it was very difficult to hold on to life. But with the help of his religion, family, and friends, Nick managed to pull through, and he became an international symbol of success over difficulty. When I was 13, I read a newspaper article about a disabled man who managed to achieve great things and helped others, said Nick. I realized why God had made us like this, to give hope to others. It was so inspirational to me that I decided to use my life to encourage other people and gave them the courage that the article had given me. So when Nick was 13 years old, he had read a newspaper article about a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things in life and helped others. So Nick realized why God had made him like this, to give hope to other people. And the newspaper article was so inspirational to him that he decided to use his life to encourage other people and give them the courage that the article had given him. He decided to be thankful to God for what he do have and not get angry about what he doesn't. I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "You know what? The world is right that I have no arms or legs, but they will never take away the beauty of my eyes. I wanted to concentrate on something good that I had." Here, look, Nick looked at himself in the mirror and said, "You know what? The world is right that he did not have arms or legs, but the world never take away the beauty of his eyes. He wanted to concentrate on something good that he had." He said that the challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our conviction. They are not there to run us over. Nick said, in 1990, Nick won the Australian Young Citizen of the Year award for his bravery and perseverance. So, the challenges they come in our life to strengthen our strong belief. They are not there to defeat us. In 1990, Nick won the Australian Young Citizen of the Year award for his bravery and consistency. Nick began to travel the world in 2008. He went to Hawaii and met surfing master Bethany Hamilton, who had her arm bitten off by a shark when she was 12. "She was amazing," said Nick. "She taught me how to surf and I was terrified at first, but once I got up there I felt absolutely fantastic. I caught some waves pretty well." So when Nick was traveling the world in 2008, he went to Hawaii and he met surfing master Bethany Hamilton. This woman had her arm bitten off by a shark when she was 12 years old. Nick said that she was amazing. She taught him how to surf, and he was terrified at first, but once he got up there, he felt absolutely fantastic, and he caught some waves pretty well. Nick quickly learned how to do a 360-degree spin on his boat, a feat that got him on the cover of Surfer magazine within 48 hours. "No one has ever done that in the history of surfing," he said, "but I have a very low center of gravity, so I have got pretty good balance." This 60-degree spin is when you move upside down on this surfing boat. So when he does that, that feat had got him on the cover of Surfer magazine within 48 hours. He can able to do the 360-degree spin on the surfing board just because he has very low center of gravity. So he got pretty good balance. Nick has visited different countries all over the world. The football fan is now a motivational speaker and he has traveled over 24 countries and speak to a group of up to 110,000 people. He moved to Los Angeles 2 years ago in 2007 and plans to continue to travel the world. If I fail, I try again and again and again. If you fail, are you going to try again? The human spirit can handle much worse than we realize. It matters how you're going to finish. Are you going to finish strong? Said Nick. I tell people to keep on getting up when they fall and to always love themselves. He said, if I can encourage just one person, then my job in this life is done. Nick Vujicic said, if he fails, he'd try again and again and again. If you fail, are you going to try again? He said, the human spirit is that superior it can handle much worse situations than we realize. It matters how you're going to finish. Are you going to finish strong? Nick tell people to keep on getting up when they fall and to always love themselves. He said that if he can encourage just one person in his life, then his job in this life is done.